Namaste, beautiful. Let's talk about self-awareness. So about 6 months ago, soon after I started this channel, there was this debate happening, at least on Instagram. I don't know if it was other places as well, but I saw it on Instagram amongst yoga teachers around the importance or not of alignment. And it was interesting to read the various opinions of these teachers who I follow, who I admire, because there were some very strong opinions. And this is something I've been thinking about, well, most of my life, because here I am at this dance studio that I started going to when I was a kid. And I started gymnastics quite young, and in those things as well as in yoga, then we're really taught that there is a perfect way to do something, there is a right way to do something, there is a wrong way to do something. And the focus when being told that, when saying that, is so often on the physical body. And, while it is true that sometimes if you do something and it's not correct, then you can be injured. And when you do something that is correct, particularly in yoga, then it's allowing for the energy to flow in the intended way. And, there are a lot of reasons why we do encourage our students to have proper alignment, right? Physically. But I think that the most important reason is self-awareness, right? When you are thinking about having your hands outstretched, your fingers strong, and allowing for the energy to flow in Warrior 2, or you're looking up at your hands in Warrior 1, things like this, then what it's doing is it's helping you to be present. And in helping you to be present on the mat, then it helps you to be present off of the mat, right? And so I just want to talk a little bit about this concept. So in yoga teacher training, well, in mine anyway, so particularly in my 200-hour teacher training, when you're kind of reviewing the benefits and the contraindications of the more basic postures, right? Then pretty much everything is, helps for your body to be strong, so then your mind can be strong. And it's everything across the board is, you do this in your body so that you can have this more important result in your life, right? And so it's hard sometimes when teaching a class to say all of the things about alignment, right? To say, okay, point your foot here, flex your foot here, straighten your knee here, bend your knee here. Especially if it's a vinyasa class, if it's an intermediate or advanced class, it's hard to say all of those things. And so I just want to generally talk about it. Just generally encourage you to, when you're going through the practice, you don't need to always be doing the same posture even as I am. And you don't need to always be doing it the same way as I am. But what I would like to advise you to do is to be aware of what you're doing and how you're doing it, starting on the mat. right? So if we're warming up and doing Pawan Mukta Asana, right? And we're working out our knees, right? Be aware of this foot being flexed or this foot being pointed. Be aware of this foot being flexed or foot being pointed. Starting from the beginning, starting when we're doing things that are easier, for lack of a better word, on the body. And then as you progress, then your mind will be trained to be paying attention to these things. And it will be trained to be more in the moment, in the now. And so then when you step off of the mat, then you can be more aware of, oh, am I holding tension in my shoulders when I'm sitting at my computer? Am I holding tension in my jaw when I'm driving? Things like that. And I think I was thinking about this more because I am visiting my family again. And last year at this time, I was injured. And having that injury, so if you don't know, I fell when I was running. I twisted my ankle quite badly when I was running last year. And I couldn't walk for a couple of months at all. I could not put any pressure at all on my foot. And getting back to walking, getting back to my yoga practice, getting back to doing anything on my feet, I had to increase my level of body awareness beyond what it has ever been. And I started gymnastics and dance at age 3. So I've been taught my entire life to be aware of my body. But then having this injury, I realized just how much more aware I could be. And so that is really one of the biggest things that I want to be able to teach people is to be aware of the body so that you can be aware of the mind, so that you can be aware of your emotions. And the more aware you are of what is going on for you physically, mentally, and emotionally, the better you can address it, the more quickly you can address it. And the more quickly you can address these things happening within your physical body, within your psyche, within your mind, then the easier your life is going to be. Seriously. So I got back to running recently. And as has happened for the past 20 years, when I start running on the road, so I almost never run on the road, but I wanted to. And because it's easier to just go out for a short little run from the house in the morning, which is on the road, than to drive out to a trail, because I would prefer to do that in the afternoon. Anyway, the point is, as has happened for the past 20 years, I started getting this pain in my hip. And so again, and it's a Mercury retrograde. I don't know if you care about astrology or not, but I do. And typically during retrogrades, then it really does cause me or encourage me to reflect and to backtrack a little bit and to think about my physical body, my emotions related to various things. And so when I started having this pain in my head, I was very aware of it very quickly, right? And I started addressing it immediately in my yoga practice, in walking, I did continue running a little bit afterwards, but I was aware of it and I was thinking about it. And by being aware of the physical pain and then bringing it into my practice, then I was also aware of the emotions that were coming up. I was aware of the thoughts that were coming up, and I was able to associate them and tie them together. And as I was able to tie them together, then I was able to work through them. And, you know, they say that your emotions are stored in your hips. And to be completely honest, I think of that as being exclusively here in the hip flexors. And as you might know, I do a lot of work on keeping my hips open, of allowing those emotions to flow. But I was working on this outside of my hip, and I'm feeling so much emotion and having so many thoughts rushing through my head from the past many years of my life, and addressing them through dance, through a massage, through just meditation, spiritual practice. And so I wanted to share that experience, and because, you know, it's something that anyone can do, you know, at no matter what your level of the physical practice is, you can always work on being more attentive to what's going on in your body, being more attentive to what's going on in your mind. And the instance of doing that, seriously, is so healing in so many ways. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much what I have to say. I don't want to continue to go on and on and on, as I tend to do. So next time you step on the mat, just really focus on bringing your attention to the whole body, bringing your attention to everything that is going on outside and inside. And yeah, try to do it off the mat as well. But like I said, the more that you're really trying to do it on the mat, the more it's going to translate to just naturally happening off of the mat. And hopefully the better your life is going to be. So that's what I have to say about that. And I hope it was helpful. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please let me know. And I will talk to you sometime in the future. Okay. Sending you all the love now and always. Namaste.